That's what that message was. My broadcast was knocked offline. I wonder why. I wonder how many viewers I still have left after I got knocked offline. Well, I lost 2 viewers. I'm sorry that I don't know what happened. Something with the ISP choking or something, I don't know. I guess they don't like me. Okay, so we got the forward left facing camera between all 4 drills, right off the forward port of the cockpit. We've got O2 to the cockpit. Okay, and now we're going to see how much more this ice is going to fit, and then we're going to go and we're going to go ahead and put the ice I have in my inventory back in to the inventory, and it'll automatically be redirected back to the yep. So see, this is making air for me right now, which is fine.
Energy low.
I know the tank is just a little bit overkill. But some places I have a mind to send this thing to, I've got to travel there with it the first time. So I do need O2. And if we hit G, get rid of all we need to do is control the pistons and the docking for the pirate destroyer. That's all we need. Okay, because now This is a fixed position uh, platform in space. It's not going anywhere. We're not drifting, we're not moving, we're not doing anything. In fact, this will be a space dock where ships can be built, because everybody keeps on coming to my asteroid and building stuff on it, and then I have all kinds of weird stuff standing off of my asteroid. I wanted to keep my asteroid naturally looking, but that's kind of gone with the wind. I'll be right back in about 2 seconds. Please don't go anywhere. Didn't take too long. I hope. Okay, so now we got 4 massive drills here. We got to get steel plate. What do I have in my inventory? No steel plate. And only 17 sheets. Now what I'm doing is I'm unblocking the back ports so they can be routed off to the cargo containers. Got that back port exposed. We know it is possible. We're just holding out with 1, 2 up here. Got any more loose, or we're gonna have 2 floating drills away. And I don't want those floating away. Inventory is just not large enough. Okay, I will reinforce it. But we've got enough for the ship to pass through now. And the forward-looking camera is right between all 4 bits. Okay, now now block back here as well. is going to turn around and hit 5. Steel. This will be my first remote control vehicle that's all on its own, so I'm hoping that it actually will come back for the amount of time I'm putting into it and for the amount of time you guys are watching it, because quite honestly it'd be quite interesting to see how this performs. I'm down to where I need to put 2 cargo containers on it and a coupling. If anybody has any ideas, and thank you for the follow, by the way. Production. I'll tell you right now, I can see this taking a lot more than just 1,000. So we're going to go ahead and make up 2,500. Because the engines are going to take them, everything's going to be taking steel plate on this. So I would see this as a 2,500 steel sheet project. I do have the thrusters already made. Only because on the red crash site map, which we're on by the way, I went into administrative mode, not creative mode. There's 2 modes you can do. You can go into administrative mode and you can change the map a bit and throw some planets in and some moons. This allowed me to do more because when I chose the red crash site, I kind of, well, where are the planets? And somebody said, well, here, do this. So then I put the planets in, and now we've got 3 planets in the map, and we haven't even touched Mars yet. We barely got a base on the Earth planet. We do have a base on the alien planet, and it kills those things that come up out of the ground instantaneously. They don't even have a chance, which is nice. That was yesterday's video, so you can look at that one as well if you want. That's a cool video. I am sitting there, you see me building it, and then you see me testing it. And that's all the steel plate I can carry. we're gonna get some motors on this. We're gonna get this repositioned, and once that happens, I'll be able to do more, and I'll be able to work underneath it. I'm not too worried about the plumbing right now. Okay, so as soon as I get this up high enough, I'll be able to route the plumbing and everything else and get it done and get a decent reactor in it too. Okay, and I'll be able to get the storage in it as well. This can go. This can go because we got the drills. Remote and programmable blocker still necessary. And now we need some ion thrusters. The other reason my mining ship has lasted as long as it has is because I don't overpower it. There have been some times where I've had to reset my map because for some reason or reset to a backup because for some reason there would be something that would suddenly be wrong and I'd be flung into a rock, and it wouldn't be an issue where I had literally steered into the rock. It was like suddenly a gravitational force just pulls me into it, but there's no gravity there. But I'll take the blame for it. I mean, it's not a problem. It's probably just human error anyway. I've had some weird stuff go on with flying machines that just even my pirate ship, the pirate destroyer. Okay. I'd have full tanks of hydrogen and everything else. You could hear the engines running, but you wouldn't see the engines running. So that's what's strange there. That's happened to me a couple of times. I don't know why that's happened, but yeah, it's... We got all these thruster components, but now it's like I'm glad I didn't tear them down. I think I got more actually in the main storage in here also. Yeah, 9,559 thruster components. All of those come from the red crash site. So if you decide not to resurrect the red crash site, you can tear that thing apart and you can end up with many, many ships. Hey, construction components. And as you see with small ships, it doesn't take much in the way to build a small ship as far as thrusters go.
Energy low.
Okay. And put 2 forward and 2 reverse. And then what we're going to do is we're going to carefully lift this thing up and we're going to put it on the side of that platform, and we're going to just put it right out there on a large string of blocks on its own. And this is where we're going to stick it. Let's see. 5. This is just to get it repositioned so we can actually do something with it, because right now I'm having to tack stuff to it just to get it off this pad, because of the way I put the landing gear on the pad, not allowing me enough room to do anything. I do have a nice little mining ship that does work real well. But not one that's automated.
Energy critical.
That's good. So I have had to come up with a way to fuel the pirate destroyer. Because it is such a large ship, you just can't just pull up to anywhere and just fuel up. And then I've been having weird situations where you pull up a small ship and the ship would be flung off the deck for no apparent reason. So essentially, I came up with this way, tested it, and it worked. I was shocked. I did get quite a bit of wobble on the other end, having a ship at the other end of the cargo container. So that's when I decided I would have to fix the device in space as a stationary, static grid. As a refueling spaceport where you could construct ships. Okay. Then I tested it again as a static grid. There was no wobble. And the ship could safely dock to the cargo container. So that's how this thing came about right here. The thing with a piston on it. There used to be a connector at the top. The piston has a connector on the bottom. It lowers down to the pirate killer and does a connection. Now what we're gonna have to do is expect the worst and hope for the best. And you know what I forgot? A gyro. Five steel plate. Okay, let's see what we got now. We're going to be able to fly it after this. Well, all we're going to do is just going to fly it to the end of that block. Not going to be too flyable, and it's not going to be too friendly. And it's not going to like us. So we're just going to have to be real gentle with it. Okay. Now we got plenty of room to extend the ship and place the motors where we need to go. Where we could put the programming block, where we could put the timing block in, and we could get our motors arranged and everything else where they need to go. Okay? And then we could test this and find out exactly how this ship is going to fly and watch it go from point A to point B. So now we can get out of the ship. We can actually charge in the ship temporarily if we need to now. Now we could clean this mess up. Okay. But I still managed to park crooked on that. It doesn't matter anyway. At least the back end's pointing up so we can get everything in place and get it working. I have to get reoriented. This is kind of strange. Okay. We're going to go slowly to minimize the chance of any parts floating away. We don't want the drills floating away, that's for certain, because the drills are just where they need to be. That's one side. I know why now, because this stuff doesn't stick. It only sticks to the actual this grinder here tends to take too much off in one shot. I should just go back to a regular grinder when shipped during ship construction instead of because I'll tell you, this grinder here is great for tearing satellites apart in space. It has one chevron and it will chew through a satellite in seconds. But you also don't want it to chew through the ship you're building either. Okay. Okay, we need to add a couple of things to this here. Oh, what's a frown about ID 3 What's have I got lag in my stream? Is that what you're saying? Because there's a delay in my stream because it is what they call a family friendly streamers. I've set it to that. A rubber band effect. Are you in my game or something? Because oh, are you talking about when the ship explode? It has a sudden explosion effect with the coupling on the big ship. I can go back up and go up my history and look at it real quick. Uh, right now what I'm doing is, yeah, I looked back at the, oh no, the reason it ran into something like that is because there was no gyro on it. And so what happened was I had full thrust on the ship, okay, and when I hit the P, it went straight up, and then it smacked into the platform, and then I had to go back in and put a gyro in it, okay. That's what happened. All I did was just put just enough thrusters on it just to get it to a pad. That's it. It it was never meant to be balanced at this point. I didn't even make sure that the thrusters were lined up on each side or anything else, which they weren't. So essentially, when I would put the thrust on, I wasn't getting equal thrust or equal resistance against each other because I didn't have opposing thrusters in either direction. Okay, and then the fact when I first took off, the gyro was not on the ship, so therefore it just popped right off the deck and smacked into the upper beam that I had moved out of the way for the ship because I needed to get it out of the way because that was a projector for this project. That project screen that you see up there has a program in it that's going to make this ship fly to and from planets without having anybody in it, mine, and then put the materials back in the cargo container, and then the materials in the cargo container will be refined and the ice will be stored in another container. And then the huge pirate destroyer can pull up underneath with a piston, and the piston will lower down and connect to the pirate ship. And when you bring two entities together that are two grids through another grid, which is a piston, because a piston acts as its own grid, you get a wobbling effect. And that was the wobbling effect I was talking about before. Okay, between another miner I have, because each one of my ships are considered its own grid. Okay. Now, there is an issue with the wheels, and I did discover it. I have a 6-wheeled mining vehicle, and each wheel is considered its own grid. I don't know why they did it that way, but they did. I found that out when I was deleting entities after a person went in and put all these items into my map and just let them float around forever, and I didn't know that had been going on. But now I'm more careful about who I let into my map, because this has a lot of time into this map. So I'm not arguing with you. I've seen the rubber band effect between two players who are out of sync, but I'm on my own local server, so I can't get out of sync. Now I have to look up real quickly the other components I need for this project real quick. in a sensor. Okay, so now I have to find out where the sensor goes. Okay. Let me see if I can ask them where this sensor, because it's not clear. And no, you do not have the right to post here. Okay. What's this guy's message?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the world of tomorrow. Well, space engineers. By putting this cargo container in between and making it all a bit slimmer, and I had also not set up the stone ejectors properly. I'd only got one sorter, which meant that the stone was not getting ejected quickly enough. So the next day, I made this one. It's definitely a little less ugly. It's not the prettiest ship, I admit, but with a paint job, which I will do at some point, and a few tweaks here and there, making it a little bit less squarish, maybe adding a few curves down there, it will look better. But I digress. The whole point of doing this video is to show you how you can set up that really cool mining script. I've just disconnected this one from the grid so I can show you the stone injectors.
Give me 1
You
second
probably
and I'm
don't want
finding
your
out
miner
where
to make
to put
multiple
that other
trips back to
sensor real
base
quick.
just carrying a lot of stone. I've got 8 stone injectors on here, 4 on this side and 4 on this side, and this one only has 2 drills and 1 medium cargo container just hidden behind there. And you'll see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 solvers.
Okay.
And
Okay, I need to put the sensor. We're gonna move this, put the sensor up here. So let me get a sensor in my toolbar. Get rid of this other pair of glasses so I don't have to wear 2 pairs of glasses. See the other screen that's only a foot away from me. That's where that sending unit has to go. Right atop that forward-looking camera. I'm glad I put that in there first. Okay, so now I can at least put the sensor right in on top of that. So we're going to go into G. We're going to type in sensor. We're going to drag this down. And as I rebuild the, put the engines around, I am going to put more gyros on the ship to stabilize it more. I have to get rid of that coupling for right now. Okay, I need steel plate. How many do I have in my inventory here? I have plenty of steel plate. Okay. Let me see which way he has the sending unit facing. Because I really want the thing to work out here. Because only a few people have actually made this work. And it's still in beta. I was noticing that there were a lot of questions yesterday of people trying to get it to work. So I'm following his example. Right down to the T as far as where the stuff is.
I've got 8 stone injectors on here, 4 on this side and 4 on this side, and this one only has 2 drills and 1 medium cargo container just hidden behind there.
Okay, fantastic. Now I know which way the sending unit goes. Okay, let's move my mouse back up here. Grab control of this. Yeah, oh, I need interior plate steel as well. 5 of those. Okay. Where's my large ship? There it is. 5 interior plate as well. F. both of those drills are at the same height. That's good. Detector components and radio components. And I need some computers. Okay. 6, 4, and 6. Let's get rid of the 4 and the 6 right away.
Energy low.
Yes, Flo, I know my energy's low. So this is going to be totally unmanned. And I was looking at it for hours and watching it fly back and forth, and you know, I'm wondering how much of the video was actually edited and how much of the video actually wasn't, and I want to see for myself how well it works, and I'm sure you people want to see how well it works as well. So we have a detector, we have a forward-looking camera. We are going to need, in the back here, we're going to have to throw a block in between these two. And that's where we're going to mount our radio. And we're going to mount our radio. We're going to mount our radio antenna. The radio antenna is more for us so we can locate the miner should it not return. Okay. This is the project I am currently working on. Okay, this is vanilla and it's just a script. That's it. Okay, there's no mods involved in this. Okay, doesn't require any mods, doesn't require anything. Okay. And this is the type of stuff I'm looking for. Well, I have been working, playing with this one for quite a few hours today, because I did not want to get it wrong, and I wanted to make sure that if it does work, you people will have a video to go back to, and I will put this on YouTube as well. It will be sent over to YouTube. I will have to break it up into probably 2 or 3 pieces because I've been spent so much time on this video, going through it stage by stage by stage, and then this way you'll be able to skip forward through it. Such as, you know, the situation where I didn't have a gyroscope and I took off, and that's my fault. I didn't have a gyroscope. I smashed into the overhead camera. So now it's got a gyroscope, but the gyroscope is going to be better placed anyway. It's going to be there's going to be 4 aboard of it, and it's going to be center of mass as well. So this means that it will be able to well, that's why I'm making the video. I mean, this is to make it simpler, you know, to simplify it. Okay, I'm going to get a remote control block and a sensor, and 1 programmable block to put aboard of it, which I'm going to do right now. I already took care of the sensor, so next is the programmable block and the remote control block. Now, essentially what he had everybody do was, first you had to start with a large grid like this and set up a rotor so he could display his instructions to you like this. That's what the rotor does. It acts like a video broadcaster, okay? But inside of here, if you go into his right here, program mining AI core, right? Basically, you'll go in here and you're going to get all of this from the top to bottom, and you're going to copy it and you're going to paste it into a program block aboard your ship. Everything from beginning to bottom. You'll copy it and paste it. You're going to copy everything, okay, and then you're going to paste it. Okay, so he has you build this first. Okay, this is what I smashed into. I knew I didn't have any room to take off either, because where I had put this was right here, and my landing gear was kind of facing that way. So when I went to take off, I was going to hit it either way. There was just no way to get away from it. But what made it worse was I didn't even have a gyroscope on it, so when I hit the space bar and hit P, I just slammed into it up there, and then I just came to a halt, which was fine because I thought I was drifting off somewhere, but when I noticed I had come to a complete stop, that told me
Energy critical.
when I was at 000, it told me I had no, that told me immediately I had no gyro. Okay, so because a ship, if there's something like that, or you're rubber banded or something, or out of sync, you generally are sent far away. You're not just sent to the same spot and come to a stop. You usually hit something, rubber band, and you're flung another direction. Okay, so now we're back to square one. The miner has no engines on it. It now has a gyro that's at the bottom, as you see down there where it didn't before. Okay. Has the forward facing camera, and it has a sensor. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to put a block right between these 2 points. Okay. And hope the pirates don't mess with me because I really don't like pirates. Now this is where I want to find out if this block is going to take off. I'd much rather have it do it now rather than when I'm in flight and lose a part. Okay, so now we have our place for our 2 items. So we're going to put down 1 more. And we want to put our remote control block and I'm really too far away from my base to see that. I'm wondering where it is, how far away I am from it. I could probably fly there quicker in a spacesuit. GPS. H. Oh boy, wow. I didn't even realize I was this close to my base. that's that's terrible. Meanwhile, I haven't even traveled over here thinking, wow, that is too far to travel. Okay, so we want that thing facing that way. Okay. Talk about stupidity. I'm sorry, guys. I just, I never even had any idea that I was that close to my own base. Okay. Nine is the remote control, I'm pretty certain. Okay, wow, I had everything for the remote control there. That's amazing. Okay. G. Pull 9 out. We need the program block now. 8. 2 computers, 1 motor, and 2 large steel tube, huh? Wow. Okay, 2 computers. And 1 motor. This should finish the programmable block. If we hit F, okay. Now the programmable block. Go over here, edit, and we should just have base code. That's right. Here's the base code. Nope. Okay. We're going to go over here and we're going to get the code for that programmable block now. Everything from bottom to top. You can't miss a single line. There's 1142 lines, and when it says 1142 of 1142, oh come on man, let me copy it all. let's see, help. Is there a way to copy? Nope. I just want to select all. Okay, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to select all his code right now. I'm just gonna have to use the mouse, the arrow button, because the mouse goes way too quick. I'm using actually the shift and the down arrow button, because when I used the mouse, it actually cleared what I was copying and unselected what I was copying. So now I'm having to go, I'm creeping up on the last line. Control C. Okay, now I've copied it to the clipboard. Okay. We're going to go over to my ship. is over here. Hit F. Edit. Now we have the first character, which is an error, okay? See that where that says P Regent? But now we're going to say check the code. Okay. Remember an exit. Now his code is actually running in my ship. Okay. Now it says instead over here, now we're going to go back to the original and I'm going to show you something. We're going to go over here to where his is and we're going to open it up. Where's his screen? Theoretically, it could run on a big ship. Because here's this programming block and I could just take the programming block and start adding a ship to it. Okay? So I would have a big mining ship and a small mining ship. And I may just do that. Now see this where it says MK2 ARC? It says running, no programming control found. Or no remote control. Install forward facing remote facing remote control. Install forward facing remote control block. And press recompile. So we have everything there except for the connector. Okay. And we're going to install some storage containers. Because now our ship is getting close. Because now we have the remote block. We have the forward-facing remote control unit. That's why it's important. See, like my jet, that's why I flew back over to my base, which is really close, to find the forward-facing control to verify that it was forward-facing, okay? Now we have to install one other thing. Not that. Not yet. We need a block there. So even I had a problem copying the code. Okay? That's a lot of code to copy to the clipboard. Now what I'm doing is I'm just using a tiny reactor just to get my stuff done, you know, just to charge, you know, and get things like things like that done for right now. Okay? That little reactor was so overwhelmed when I went to move, it was pegged. Okay? Uh, Now, since it took me all this time to get to this point, I'm going to save the game. And I'm also going to save as, let me go down here and get the actual code. Name. And copied that. I gotta put this in Notepad here. New. I don't think there can be any dashes in the title. Yeah, there can. Okay. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna come back over here and we're going to I think AI describes it enough, so I'm just gonna call it an AI miner. Yep, good. Now, since I've got a backup of it, and I'm gonna do this space BAK if it will let me. There may not be enough characters left. Okay. So we got two different file names in case something goes wrong. Okay? Now we got to put the radio beacon in. in case the thing doesn't come back. Okay, so let's get rid of, first of all, we can get rid of the sensor. We can get rid of the program block. We do need the large cargo containers. We need the gyros and we need the engines. And we are going to need a reactor, because this thing is going to be traveling long distances. So what we need to do now we don't want this sticking up too high. So let's do this. The radio antenna is number 8.
Energy low.
Okay, Flo. We need computers, small tubing, radio communication components. And this is why I made this space dock out here. It's going to get larger because this way as new people come into the map and this server gets bigger and this save gets moved to the new server, then more people will be able to get onto the server and play the game. Because what I will do is I'll blueprint this ship once it's done with his script in it, and I'll give him credit for the script. And then people can download the ship. But I've already I'm gonna PM him first, and if it works, I'm gonna ask him if I can post it underneath my collection, the ship with his script in it. Let me get rid of some of these notepads so I can see what you guys are saying, because I just heard somebody say something as an instant message. Welcome back, OMONG. Okay, we need some radio components.
Energy low.
Okay. We need to figure out which is left and which is right here real quick. Drove and wand. One is BL. And 3. Now we need to figure out bottom left on the other side. Or which is the bottom, or which is the top right. Row 4 is the top right. And the reason I'm naming them this way is so I can locate the issue very quickly. Okay? That little ship of mine, that little black ship you saw, that little black ship won't even stand up to the pirates. It would be blown to bits in seconds. Okay? I have something that deals with pirates, and the minute I pull up on them, they're dead. They're all gone. They're just floating debris. There's not enough to even collect. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm being honest, you know. But anyway, I gotta cut this stream short.